Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work. Triple play, yeah.
This is the Triple Play Fantasy Basketball Show, Week 23. Shout out to Michael Jordan. Shout out LeBron James and all the greats that have worn number 23. And this is a very, very special week as it has playoff implications. I'm your host, once again, Coach James Lewis. On the other end, my guy, Jacob Dunn. What up?
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm doing great, and I wanted to give a shout out to my mom. It is her birthday. That's why I'm wearing a Vegas Golden Knight jersey. All right, she lives in Vegas, so shout out to my mom. Happy birthday! I hope you have a wonderful day.
Awesome. In the midst of March Madness here, the games yesterday were riveting. I had close attention on a couple of those games as I'm going to the Elite 8 game for the East region in Philly at Wells Fargo Center. It's going to be the Peacocks of St. Peter's versus Blue Blood, North Carolina. What do you think about the games? What do you think about this St. Peter's run?
It's insane, man. And I love it because our teammate Kevin accurately called this Cinderella. Now, we had each Cinderella from each region, but he called St. Peter's, so I give him props. Kevin, I give you props, bro.
Shout out Kevin Coleman for calling that sleeper. And I got my Kobe Bryant McDonald's All-American jersey in the back. And Shaheen Holloway, their head coach, won MVP of that game. And he just ripped apart Matt Painter and Purdue as far as game plan, schematics, play call, their twist action, their full court press into matchup zone. I mean, I was blown away. I was taking notes, and their guard play, they're so tough. Matthew Lee playing full court defense the entire game. Doug Eater coming off the bench, didn't even play like the first 10 minutes of the game and played like the whole second half. They are deep. They are tough, and they are a force to be reckoned with, and they can really go to the Final Four. And, of course, no 15 seed has gone even to the Elite 8. This is we're witnessing history, and that's what the big dance is all about. You just got to love college basketball in this time of year, and you got to watch these games. It's for some reason, they're all close. They're great. You might not have the best
we're going to see a
officiating.
lot of these guys in our upcoming fantasy basketball draft. So please pay close attention because these guys could be on your future rosters.
Man, Jaden Ivey was so disappointing yesterday. I was blown away with his he just wet the bed yesterday. It was just the moment it came was too much. A couple plays didn't go his way, and his body language is off. And I really love Jaden Ivey. I know he'll 5 pick, but yeah, it's funny how some of those moments overtake you as a player, and we're still emotional as human beings. Well, let's get to the reason why you're here, and that is fantasy week 23. We're going to start off with game played. There's one team in particular that has a game advantage over the crowd, and that's the Cavs. Evan Mobley owners, Karis LeVert, Darius Garland. You're getting 5 games of these fellas, and you might think about picking up a Chetty Osman or Isaac Okoro, somebody else that is on the Cavaliers this week.
We'll talk about them.
Well, we'll get to them. And games played, teams with 3. So everybody else in the league plays 4 games. It's like I think 22 teams. The teams that have a disadvantage are the Nets, Hornets, Grizz, T-Wolves, Pels, Suns, Jazz. So I put some characters up here that if you're an owner, you just got to be aware as a Cat owner. He's your number 1 pick. He's your stalwart in fantasy. KD owners, just understand that you're going to really have to grind and survive. So your pickups are paramount this week.
Yes.
So I'm going to start off with a couple guys that should be rostered due to Morant being out, quite frankly. And DeAnthony Melton is shooting the hell out of the ball. He's not known as a great 3-point shooter, but when shooters shoot, you got to get him. He's in the last week, He's 45% rostered. And again, these rosters are of March 26th morning. Last week, he averaged 19.3 points, giving you 6 boards, 5 3-pointers a game. And on the season, he's been liked in the fantasy world because of his defensive abilities and averaging 1.6 steals and 0.5 blocks. Against Brooklyn, he had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 6 3-pointers, and the backcourt mate in Tyus Jones, who's he gets you assists at a high rate. And again, Moran is out. He's only 15% roster, so you can find him basically every league. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 7.3 assists, shooting 54%, giving you 2 threes, a steal. He averages that on the season. Against Brooklyn, he had 16 points, 10 dimes.
Just an automatic plug and play when Ja Morant is out. And I hope that all Ja managers had him on their watch list to pick him up right away once Ja went out, because Tyus Jones could help your team even without Ja, because Tyus is just so darn consistent.
And if you need a stream play on a Sunday or later in the week, I recommend you go for Tyus Jones when it comes to assists. He's probably your top assist guy. Another person that we've streamed in the past, but maybe just keep him for the week. Jacob?
Gary Payton, guys, the Gloves' son, has been nice over his last 2 games, averaging 12.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 1.5 steals, 1.5 assists, while shooting 84.5% from the field. All right, he's 11 of 13 from the field. Okay, and last Friday, he scored 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals while playing just about 30 minutes that game. All right, with Chef Curry out indefinitely with a foot injury, Payton is the de facto point guard in Golden State and should get 25 to 30 minutes a game, whether he eventually starts or just keeps coming off the bench. Okay, I love Payton for his steals as well as his decent points, rebounds, and assists. He's a must-add in deeper leagues and a must-add in shallow leagues if you need steals.
And what a perfect fit in Golden State. I'm glad that he found his home. He kind of plays that Sean Livingston role, although they're 2 different players.
Right.
He's just a winning player. And as a fan of the Washington Wizards, watching him play defense is just a spectacle. But I'm going to go to DC for my pickup, maybe of the week. Deni Avdija. They're putting the ball in his hand. He's shooting guard, small forward, power forward, eligible. And with Kyle Kuzma out, he's been out for the last 4 games with knee tendonitis. He's averaged 14 points, 7 boards, 3.5 dimes. They're, like I said, they're putting him in some of these pick and roll motions. They're putting the ball in his hands to play make a little bit. He's not shooting well. I think that'll pick up this week, 35%. This last week, hitting 2 threes, a steal. He might get you a block here and there. Against the New York Knicks, he had 14 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 3 blocks in the last game. And I think he's playing some confident basketball and he's playing big minutes. So Deni Avdija is getting a look for me.
Yes. And next week, Deni has a game on Tuesday, which is a slow game slate. So definitely think about picking him up to stream him there for sure. If you don't just automatically pick him up.
Awesome. So 4 games from Tuesday to Sunday. That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys. Goga Batadze. The 22-year-old has been lighting it up over the past 4 games, averaging 17.3 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, while shooting 69.2% from the field, along with 1 3, 1.3 steals, and 1 block. All right, Goga is getting it done across the board. And although he is questionable on Saturday with right foot soreness, it's something that actually has been bothering him before his 4-game hot streak. I say as long as he is playing, he is going to be a stud for your fantasy team. So definitely monitor his injury, but stream him if he's playing tonight, and just think about streaming him for the rest of the week next week, because he has a lot of opportunity heading his way.
And you can also give teammate O'Shea Brissett a look. 30% roster. You can find him a lot of places. 16 points, 7 boards, shooting 49% in last week, hitting 2 threes, almost a steal, almost a block. Against Portland, he had 24 points, 9 rebounds, hit 2 threes. Jalen Smith was out of that game. IJacks has been missing some time. So depending on who's healthy, you can stream or even pick up some of these Indiana players.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to talk about some repeat heavy hitters. There's 3 in particular that are still under 50% rostered. Tre Mann is shooting the hell out of the ball.
Yes, he is.
And against Orlando, surprise, surprise.
Right.
He had 35 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, and hit 7 threes in the last week. He's averaging 23 points, 5 boards, a couple dimes, and over 4 3-pointers. So that is definitely your 3-point shooting streamer.
Yep.
But he should be rostered. And we didn't put him at the top of the list because we've been talking about him and the next couple of guys the last 3 weeks, which people still are leaving there in the free agent for you to pick up. Bones Highland is playing very confident basketball in the last week, shooting 55% from the field, hitting 3.3 threes, 17 points, 3 assists, a couple rebounds. Against Phoenix, he had 23 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 3-pointers. I mean, I'm speaking for Jacob here. He should be rostered.
Oh, yeah,
all 12-team formats, as well as Emmanuel Quickley, 48% rostered. 16.5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a little bit of everything. 2.5 threes. He's shooting pretty well right now, 46%. So those 3 are repeat heavy hitters and are definite options. And really, you could flip a coin with the 3 of them. It just depends on what you need as far as categories are concerned or matchups, if your guy's playing Orlando.
Yep.
Or Houston.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, leading off our watch list, we spoke on him earlier.
Yes, Isaac Okoro. All right, before struggling on March 24th, the 21-year-old was averaging 12.8 points, 3.4 rebounds, 2.2 assists while shooting 57.1% from the field, along with 1.8 threes, 1.2 stocks in 35.8 minutes over his last 8 games, or over his past 5 games. Sorry about that. But I don't want to completely throw out last game completely because he is capable of duds. All right. But with the Cavaliers playing 5 games next week, I am willing to bet he has more good games than bad. And he should get plenty of threes and steals while keeping your field goal percentage solid.
Going back to the New York Knickerbockers, Obi Toppin is playing minutes. He had a game where he had 40 minutes plus. Somebody to watch going down the stretch as it looks like the Knicks are tanking a little bit. And I think they're forcing Tibbs' hand to play some of these young guys. Although I don't know if you saw Taj Gibson touch earth earlier this week. That was funny. He was playing on the perimeter. That's funny. Obi Toppin had 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 dimes, and 2 3-pointers made at Charlotte. He shows that he does have potential in the lottery pick from last year. Someone not only you should watch this week, but maybe next year, depending on the roster moves that New York makes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Dwight Powell, guys. Powell has strung together 3 fantastic games in a row, averaging 16 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2 assists, while shooting 82.1% from the field, along with 1.3 stocks. All right, he's coming fresh off a game last week where he scored 22 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. He is capable of those games. Okay, he is also capable of some duds, but he has strung together 3 straight great games. Okay, so you need to ride him while he is on fire. All right, and he is only 17% rostered in leagues and has 4 games next week. So why not give him a shot?
Shout out to Dallas Mavericks and Spencer Dinwiddie trade. I was wrong about it. And Porzingis had 30 points yesterday for the Wizards. So hopefully that works out for both teams.
Yes.
Moving on.
Criminally under rostered, guys. All right, I got one for you. And that is my boy Drew Eubanks.
Who?
Exactly. Drew, the former Spur, who's now a Blazer. All right, the 25-year-old has started all 14 games since arriving in Portland. And over his last 8 games, Eubanks is averaging 16.4 points, 8.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists while shooting 66.7% from the field, along with 0.8 stocks. Now, I wish he blocked more, but he is a steady and consistent presence on the Portland team playing for lottery balls. Okay, he is a very safe fantasy asset for points, rebounds, and field goal percentage while chipping in with assists. Okay, now, like I said earlier, he doesn't block enough to be 100% rostered, but his elite field goal percentage and rebounding alone should have him closer to 80% rostership, in my opinion.
Trivia question: where did he go to college?
Drew Eubanks went to Jackson State
Close.
Yeah.
Well, it's a state. It's definitely a state. Oregon State.
Nice.
Who knows
he's a
these things?
beaver.
And I feel like he's going to be on a portal near you this week because he's a little known player that's doing a little bit of damage.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes.
Somebody else that is criminally under roster, that's Terance Mann of the Clippers. He keeps cooking. In the last week, he averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting nearly 60% from the field. On the season, he's averaged a three-pointer and has potential to give you some defensive stats. He's just kind of one of those safer plays, and he's available in a lot of leagues.
Yes, absolutely. I like that.
People to stream. Jared Vanderbilt, after fighting some injuries, he's back in the rotation. I would stream him for rebounds. He's always going to give you some of those. He's not really going to do too much else across the board, but he's not going to kill you with field goal percentage. And on the season, he averages 2 stocks. So he's one of the higher steal producers from the power forward center position. So I recommend him a stream if you need rebounds down the stretch of your end of your week.
Lamar Stevens has been excellent off the bench for Cleveland over his past 3 games, averaging 15.7 points, 5.7 rebounds, 1 assist, while shooting 61.3% from the field with 1 stock. All right, earlier this week, he had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. So he's getting a lot of run for the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, especially with Jared Allen injured. So I would definitely look his way. He's another widely available Cavalier with 5 games who can get you consistent points, rebounds, field goal percentage with some stocks.
And why widely available? He's rostered in 1% of leagues. So
yes, he is available in 99% of leagues.
Yeah, and Jacob talks about deep ads, like teams that you have like 20 people on it. He could be somebody that you get.
Exactly.
And streaming for blocks for me is our beloved Nick Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets, filling in for the injured Andre Drummond. And last week, he averaged 11 points, 5.5 boards, 2 assists, shooting 90% from the field, giving you 1.5 blocks. And that's kind of his baseline on the season. Keeping also a watch on Isaiah Jackson on him and his return, because IJacks, when he does play, he gives you 2+, and that can win you a blocks category, which could win you the week. So watch Claxton, watch IJacks for a stream plug at the end of the week, and we move on to our POW, our player of the week, none other than D Book, Devin Booker.
Devin Booker lit the Denver Nuggets on fire, all right, in Denver with 49 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, 78.8 fantasy points in a standard Yahoo league. I'm sure that a lot of other leagues have crazy fantasy points where he probably got 100+, but my goodness, he put on a show in Denver, and it was a treat to watch.
This was the anniversary of his 70-point performance against the Spurs, a little known fact. As well as he's averaging 25+, 5+ rebounds, 5+ assists. And there's only been 12 previous instances in NBA history when a player is averaging these numbers and the team has the league's best record. All of these 12 players have won the NBA MVP that season. He is not being talked about at all in that discussion. I'm not here saying that he is my MVP because I got Jokic on my ballot, but I believe that he is a threat. I think that it's evident that he is clearly somebody that needs to get some recognition for this. And with Chris Paul being out, they haven't dropped off at all. I mean, they win 80% of their games. So that's our player of the week. But we have a couple of waivers, a couple players that hadn't got mentioned earlier, but they definitely need a Minch. 2 of them play for the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, guys, we got Davion Mitchell, and he is my number 1 ad if he's still available in your league for as long as Fox is out. Because according to NBA Jam, Davion is on fire. Over his last 3 games, he's averaging 21.7 points, 6 assists with 2.3 threes and 1.7 rebounds while shooting 47.1% from the field and a steal while playing 39.7 minutes. All right. the Sacramento Kings are going to give him heavy minutes the rest of the way. And even if Fox somehow does return from his hand injury, Mitchell's going to get a lot of run the rest of the season on the struggling Kings team. So I would definitely add him for the four times he plays next week.
Yeah. And it makes you think about what he was doing last year at this time as him and his and Baylor cut down the nets. Just known for his defense, but look at these offensive numbers: 22 and 6.
He's blossoming, man. He's an offensive force.
Must add. And now with Halliburton and Hield gone, Fox being injured, he's put in the forefront, and he's showing why he was such a high lottery pick.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, Trey Lyles, guys, he is our safe guy right now. The 26-year-old has started the last 12 games for the Kings, and over his last 3, he's averaging 13.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, 2.3 assists, while shooting 48.1% from the field with 2 threes and 0.7 blocks. Okay, with Sabonis out week 23, Lyles should continue to start and provide steady points, rebounds, and threes.
And one last player from the Chet Holmgren chasing Portland Trailblazers.
Yes, we are streaming my guy, Kris Dunn. No relation because he doesn't have an E on the end of his last name, but I digress. Kris Dunn here, guys. He has been doing well for Portland since arriving, averaging 2 steals a game. All right, he has a steal in almost every single game. I think 2 games ago he didn't have a steal, but he provided it like everywhere else. Other than that, he has a steal in every single game. And over his last 5 games, he's averaging 7.4 points, 2.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists, and 2 steals, like I said earlier, while shooting 45.5% from the field. And he outperformed starter Brandon Williams last Friday. So a switch could be coming, but he should be solid in steals the rest of the way regardless. And he'll also chip in with points, rebounds, and assists. But you're really streaming him for his steals.
Yeah, and that's why he got picked back up. It's for his defense, and you're asking him to be a better offensive player. We're hoping that he develop, but
yes,
based on his defense, he could be one of the better point guard defenders in this entire NBA when he does get play. But you got to play both ends.
Yeah.
So shout out Oddsjams. Please use the referral code listed below. They're the key to getting you the best odds when it comes to sports betting. So shout out Oddsjam.
Shout out.
Anything you want to plug on the way out? I know you dropped a video a couple days ago that's booming.
Yes, guys. If you are still in the playoffs, which I'm sure you are if you're watching this video, and congrats, by the way. I dropped a video yesterday on the Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel, just all about the strategy for week 23. You know, like teams like we talked about playing 5 times, 4 times, and 3 times, and also teams that play back-to-backs and elite streamers that you should consider adding, and also deep league streamers. So definitely check that out on the Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Also shout out a couple other people, including Fantasy Points Media Group for your support. Everybody on Triple Play Fantasy. We had big interviews this week. Ken Harvey. I mean, there's so much craziness going on the YouTube channel. And shout out to everybody that's out there in Triple Play. I dropped a video. It's still picking up some traction. I got my big board, my top 60 NBA prospects. If you haven't checked that out, please do. It just hit 2K. And I will drop a 2.0 sometime after the tournament because things have changed a little bit based on the performances.
Right.
And people that are put their name in the hat, like Josh Minot of Memphis didn't play too much, but he's almost got a guaranteed NBA spot. EJ Liddell put his name in there. So, and then other people are going to come back to school. So that'll definitely affect the big board going forward. From Triple Play, James Lewis on the other end, Jacob Dunn.
Cheers.
And see you next week. Hopefully.